Polly had a dolly. You ready?
Are you ready, baby?
Miss Polly had a dolly who was sick, sick, sick. So she phoned for the doctor to come quick, quick, quick. The doctor came with his bag and his hat, and he knocked on the door with a rat-a-tat-tat. He looked at the dolly and he shook his head, and he said, Miss Polly, put her straight to bed. He wrote on a paper for a pill, pill, pill. I'll be back in the morning with my bill, bill, bill. I couldn't.
Noah's Ark is a nursery playgroup. But this is a playgroup with a difference. The children who come here are very special, and they need special help.
Thomas has low tone, low muscle tone. The very sort of fancy name for it is congenital hypertonia, but most people tend to know it by low muscle tone. Right from birth onwards, their muscle tone develops at a much, much slower rate than your average child, so to speak. So to give you a classic example, Thomas couldn't hold his head steady by himself until he was about 9 months old. Couldn't sit up until he was about 14 months old. That just gives you an example. Yeah. And so obviously you can take from that walking has come a lot later as well. But he is actually developing, and at the moment had a bit of a spurt and is doing very well. He enjoys reading. Well, when I say reading, inverted commas with him being 3.5, but he enjoys books. He's especially fond of The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and it's funny, isn't it? Perhaps where a child falls behind in one area, there seems to be another area where they just forge ahead. And with Thomas, his memory is very, very sharp. So consequently, he'll listen to a story for a few days, and then he'll actually be able to recite that story to you. And he's got Hungry Caterpillar down to a fine art.
Okay, ready.
This is Bronwyn. Her muscle tone is just fine. She too needs help, but of a different kind.
She's got a communication problem, basically, speech and communication. So though she's quite bright, she doesn't necessarily come across what is like there's a kind of link somewhere missing. She knows what you're saying to her mainly, even though you might have to say a few times to her. But it's just a case of her getting across to you what she wants. It can be a bit muddled, but she's getting there. Yeah, she's definitely getting there. I would say her interaction with other children is one of her main kind of letdowns at the moment. You see other children talking to her, and you can see her thinking, trying to, like her brain's kind of working to try and think of a reply, and either she gives up or she'll just give them a lot of waffle back, whatever, or it'll be visual. She'll use her hands to explain what she wants. Her bad points are probably that she's very determined. We had quite a few tantrums, but luckily not many at Noah's Ark or anything like that. But it just seems to be for my benefit. No, she's very happy and always singing, and she remembers all the action songs. She knows all the actions to it and the word. And though she maybe doesn't know all the words, she makes them up as she goes along, kind of thing. So.
Oh, and that's green. Pardon? Is that Bronwyn?
This is Matthew's book that you should get in. Pip is busy cleaning. Right, we can see them, Daniel. Right, what have we got here? for your next trip, said Thomas. The snowplough was heavy and uncomfortable. Thomas shook and banged it, and the driver, I'm Thomas, I'm pulling a train. Where's Thomas, Daniel? That's him, and he's pulling a train.
Daniel is cerebral palsy, and it's mainly affected his left side, although mainly in his left leg, slightly in his left arm, but not too much. It looks like a lazy arm rather than anything else. If he can do something with his right arm, he'll do it. But if you actually say no with your other arm, he will do it. He can do it, but it doesn't come as easy as his right arm.
But with Daniel having cerebral palsy, I personally, I think, kidded myself a lot more than Dawn did. I really thought that I could make him walk probably by the time he was 12 to 18 months. I was convinced that he would walk, and it took me a long time to accept that Daniel's Daniel and that it was going to take a lot longer. And it lays a lot easier with me now than it did back then. You know, Daniel will walk, and he'll do it in his own good time. But it's taken his dad a little while to realise that it's not going to happen overnight. You know, and it's hard. You know, you can get upset. We both get upset. We're so blessed with him because he's very articulate, very intelligent. We've been told, we're biased, but we've been told that by outsiders. So we've got such a lot to be thankful for. But it breaks your heart when Daniel says he wants to go and play football. It breaks your heart. He'll play with his Action Man, and he'll play with his Lego, and he's a great fan of Thomas the Tank Engine. We introduced him to Thomas the Tank Engine and Bob the Builder quite early on in life, and the Teletubbies, but he's got a great affection for Thomas and his friends.
One day it snowed till the rails were dark lines standing out like that.
You're getting louder. He's busy. We'll make a roll.
It was to provide the help needed by children like Thomas, Bronwyn and Daniel that Noah's Ark was formed. To the inexperienced eye, what goes on here may look just like ordinary play. But here, play is used to provide each child with a carefully structured programme of development designed to help them achieve their full potential. Some play is directed towards learning about language and about numbers. Playing in groups helps children with their social and emotional development.
So a lot of the children we come here don't have the same as able-bodied children. They've got a lot more problems and they find it difficult to socialise. They need to know that there are other children around and how to react to other children. They need to know that it's not right to hit somebody who would get hurt. So yes, it's still important to be with other children, with their peers.
The staff of Noah's Ark are supported in their work by a range of specialists.
Speech therapist comes in every week. Quite a few of the children see her. We have the physiotherapist comes in, the occupational therapist, the visual impairment teacher, teacher for the early years language support, communication. If we've got a deaf child in, we'd have a teacher for the hearing who'll come around. The educational psychologist comes round and assesses some of the children. The health visitor comes. Everybody, we have quite a range.
Oh, look at what a big chest Daniel's got. He looks like a big chap, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Wow! See that chest, all his muscles.
The physiotherapist makes an important contribution to Daniel's development.
Trying to get him to use his middle section more,
to strengthen it, because if you're floppy, if you've no strength in your middle section, you can't stand up straight, you can't sit down straight.
The physiotherapist explains to the staff what she's trying to achieve for Daniel, so that they too can help him with his exercises.
You got it, Daniel?
Can you find me the doggy?
Here.
Yeah. Where does he go? Yes. Can you find the sheep? What is it? Yes. Where does the sheep go?
For Bronwyn, help is concentrated on developing her language and communication skills.
Poppet, she's lovely, and she's come on a long way since she came here. She's when she first came, she didn't make eye contact with anybody, and she just was in her own little world, and she's gradually come out. She's fun to be with. She enjoys being here because it's fun for her, and she's starting to make relationships with the other children and interact with them, which she wasn't doing before. And the communication is coming out. She's speaking much more.
Yeah, right. And where's Trina?
No, she's come a long way as Bronwyn, and she's really chatty, and she's interacting with the other children, which she wasn't doing at first.
Could you sit nicely?
She's very loving towards the other children as well.
Thomas is making progress too.
Low tone, very floppy, so it's strengthening exercises. Make him more stronger so that he'll be able to walk, which he has done today. He did it yesterday and he's done it again today, and that's the first time the physiotherapist had seen him do that. Makes you feel up, you want to cry, actually. It was wonderful.
Go put the water. It's noisy.
He's a much happier boy. When he comes away from Noah's Ark, he's obviously quite tired. He's put in 2.5 hours of good solid enjoyment and play, but he's always very happy. He'll sit in the back of the car as we're driving home and he'll hum a song that they've been singing, or I'll ask him a question and he'll tell me what he had at snack time, for example. He's happy and he's confident, and that's all down to Noah's Ark, definitely.
Oh yes, it's brilliant, especially as 5 sessions a week that she went, and so it was much more interaction, stimulation than she was getting before. It was just, much better, and she's come on an awful lot.
There's never any problem with him going into Noah's Ark. And then he comes home and he tells you what he's been doing and who he sees there, and happy as Larry.
I've had parents cry on my shoulder and then say, oh, this is wonderful, and like Thomas's mum, this is lovely to see him walking, and you share the highs and the lows, so it's a good working relationship. If a child's got a problem, the earlier it's picked up, the easier it is to try and rectify it. Once they've got into the bad habits caused by the problem as they get older, it's much harder to rectify those bad habits. So if it's picked up early, you can help them, you can give them stimulation, and by the time it's school age, the child's school age, they'll probably be able to go to a mainstream school and participate as any other child would, because they've had the stimulation beforehand and the help. That's why it's much easier and much better if you can pick the problems up earlier.
If not, it's really great. Because you can say hello, but you still in the boat with the toy box. And then down the hill. Push them down.
How can I put this? to go to school, they need to be able to be independent, to be able to put the shoes and socks on and relate to other children and know good, bad, and just general things what you'd expect. And that's what they'll learn here. With a little help, it gets that way.
Alright, where's your watch? Time to go home. Time to go home. Time for the children all to go home. Time to go home. Time to go home. We are all waving goodbye. Goodbye. Yours.
Thank you.
Thank you. You go and put your coat, your jumper as well.
Oh, if you
That's it.
well done.
Right, I'm not sure which one's yours. Which one's yours?
Not that one.
Is it that one?
Hi, Jim. See you, Alison. Bye. Levi.
Thomas, I'll see you in a bit.
I worked today with Judith, weren't you?
Daddy.
Yes.
You've got trampoline in there, hasn't you? Thank you.
Bye, Daniel. Bye, Daniel.
There you go.
Bye, Bronnan. Bye. See you on I'll see you on Friday.
Bronnan. I'll see you tomorrow, but I'll see Bronnan Friday. Bye. Can I close it? Yep. Thank you. It's cold.
Funny, Matt. Sister's got 4 legs. His head's a bit heavy. Put it next to your
Like this side. One.